Hi Taurus, welcome to Carol's Universe, tarot readings from the heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your June 2016 tarot forecast. So just to let you know a few things before I start. If you'd like a private reading with me, Taurus, the details are below. They're also in the description box. It's www.carolsuniverse.co.uk. You can also join me as a friend on Facebook. All of the details are below. Should be going across the screen right as we speak. Also, I'll be updating your life spread reading. I did one I feel for Taurus. It must have been December, November last year sometime. So I'm going to be updating all of the zodiac signs life spreading. It's where I focus on 5 areas. This is generally, you can get them as private readings on the website, but this is where you focus on 5 areas of your life. So love, work, family, personal, future, and it just really looks at where everything is heading. Now this will be running from June up until the end of the year, December. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for that. The last thing to mention is that I'm going to also be doing an update on your love spread readings. The ones that I did in, I think it was February. I'm going to be doing them from, I think they're due now, beginning of June. So I'm going to start recording those, beginning of July, sorry. So I'm going to start recording those in the month of June to go out in July. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that good stuff to come. So in the meantime, let's continue with your reading. Just a couple of one modification really to the readings. I do the normal 11 card spread, which is 2 cards to serve as your general energy, Taurus, and the advice card to serve as your advice for the month. And then we've got the 8 cards in the middle, which will show the situations, people, events, energies, that type of thing around you in the month of June. What I do now at the end of the reading is for each cluster of 2 of those 8 cards, I will add a clarification card. It opens up the reading. It basically tells me potentially what the problem is, or what the underlying problem is, or what the underlying reason is for a certain situation of each of the 2 cards. So hopefully it will give some more depth to the reading, and it can possibly show or put a different spin on why we have this reading. Okay, certainly in some parts, maybe in all of the reading, who knows. And I use the Witch's Tarot as my clarification cards now for that. So Universe Spirit, show me what's coming in for the zodiac sign of Taurus. What's coming in for the zodiac sign of Taurus for June 2016? Show me Taurus in June 2016. What's coming in? Show me what's coming in for June 2016. Sun, Moon and Rising signs for Taurus. Show me the Taurus people, those born under the zodiac sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for June 2016. Show me. Show me what's coming in for Taurus. Zodiac sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs, all those born under Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. What's coming in for them in the month of June 2016? I'm shuffling the cards at the moment, but as soon as I stop with this Rider-Waite deck, I'm going to put the cards on the table, Universe. I'm going to split the deck into 3, gather the deck back up, and at the top of the reading, reflected by the 2 top cards off the top of the deck, I'd like you to show me what the general energy is for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs in the month of June 2016. I'd then like you to show me at the bottom of the deck the advice card. So what advice do you have for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for the month of June 2016? And the 8 cards in the middle, I would like to reflect the situation, people, events, energies around Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for the month of 2016, the month of June 2016. At the end of the reading, I'm going to shuffle the Witch's Tarot and take out cards that hopefully should serve as the reason or the foundation of the situation of each cluster of 2 within the 8 cards. I'll also take out a clarification card for the general energy, and if needed, a clarification card for the advice card. This will open up the reading for the viewers. So show me what's coming in for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising signs for June 2016. Show me. Right, so I've shuffled the cards as much as I can, Taurus, and I'm going to split the deck into 3 as I've mentioned to the Universe. I'm going to collect the deck back up. I'm going to take the 2 top cards, which I've asked them to reflect your personal situation at the moment, so the general energies around you in June, the advice card to the right, which will serve as the advice or overall theme that should be coming in for you guys in the month of June 2016, and the 8 cards in the middle that should reflect the people, situations, events coming in for you guys. And at the end, we'll shuffle on the Witch's Tarot, which should tell us what some of these underlying reasons are. So I'm not going to turn over the 8 cards in the middle just yet. We'll turn those over as we go along to unfold this story. We'll have a look at what your general energy is first, and then the advice, or vice versa, dependent on what I feel. Oh, that's interesting, Taurus. Well, we've got a man showing here as your advice card, and it's the King of Swords. Now, as a man, this man can be a uniformed guy. You usually get King of Swords when you're looking at maybe something legal, or you're looking at a lawyer, a barrister. It can be a CEO. It can be somebody who works in management. It can be somebody who works in the army. It's somebody who works within. Usually, when you get the King of Swords, it feels like somebody who works within like a serious profession. Like, for example, if I were to get a King of Pentacles, I would imagine that maybe he'd be somebody who would work within finance. Somebody who could work within real estate, because the pentacles are heavily associated with earth, so buildings, real estate, that type of thing. But the King of Swords deals within balance and fairness, so this could be somebody who's on your side in the month of June, potentially. It could be a partner, potentially. But what's strange about this reading in a way is that we have 2 opposing cards in your general energy. We've got the 8 of Wands showing up, and we've got the 10 of Swords. Now, 10 of Swords is not my most favourite card, Taurus, in the deck by a long shot. I've had a long history with this card as a tarot reader, and also as people reading tarots for me. Enough to know that this card can be, no matter how you want to see it, and even if the end result of that 10 of Swords is to do with the worst is now over and you're going to be getting up again. It's what you need to go through in order to get to that stage, which is pretty nasty business. When you get the 10 of Swords, it often reflects a situation where somebody has been poorly treated. Somebody's probably had a lot of people against them, because those swords, when you get many swords on a card, it means many people, many ideas, many struggles, many people who, especially the 10 of Swords, it can mean that you're being attacked by people. I don't mean physically, but I mean with their thoughts, with their ideas. So they could be bitching on you, they could be betraying you, they could be saying nasty things about you, all sorts of things with that card. And it suggests maybe many people have done it. For some people it's one person, okay? So you get this in a card, for example, somebody asks about an ex and that comes up in the distant past, you know that there's probably been some form of betrayal within the relationship. So it's not the greatest card. But then we've got the 8 of Wands before that. And the 8 of Wands can suggest many ideas, many beliefs. It can also suggest that it's a very busy time. But I've also seen the 8 of Wands to be a card of flight, so travel. So usually if you get this card and you say, well, I'll be going away in June, and you get the 8 of Wands as an outcome, it can be yes, you're going on an air travel, you're going on an aeroplane, you're going abroad. It can be the card of going abroad. I feel that there's something to do with messages here, though, that are being received, and something to do with something that you have no control over for some reason here. Because the 10 of Swords can also be the card that reflects a lack of control. So the inability to control other people's ideas, or the inability to affect a change, because this card can be where there is absolute defeat, where you're feeling completely defeated over a situation. It can literally be a card where, it indicates an ending to something as well. You get the 10 of Swords and Death, that's like a slam dunk together. It's an end. Both cards represent endings. Because the 10 of Swords, even though we know that, at the end of the situation, you've come out of it a better person and it's a bright new day, the clouds are starting to lift, and they are, because you can see that there's yellow in between that dark sky and the guy that's on the floor. So you know that the clouds, that there is always a sunset after a sunrise, after a sunset, okay? But it doesn't stop really the meaning of this card in a way, because the meaning of the card, the card is actually known. What's it known as again? It's known as something called the Lord of Sorrow, or the Lord of Destruction. It's a really sorrowful, shitty card, to be honest with you. And I feel that there are many. I just get it in June with these 2 cards. It just represents, because the Wands and Swords are very active energies. So the 8 of Wands can be many messages, many things that are being thrown at you, many things that are up in the air. Things can still be up in the air. But why I said there was a kind of like a juxtaposition between the cards is because one card represents flight, things being in the air. The other card can represent things being stagnant, because sometimes you get a Ten of Swords and it means that something is stagnant. It means that somebody feels that they just can't do anything about a situation here. I feel with the King of Swords, this could be something to do with this King of Swords as an advice card. So it could be that you're seeking fairness and balance. Maybe this is something legal for some of you Taurus people, because the King of Swords in a general sense means being fair, and it means being able to make fair, balanced judgment and act on that. Okay, so maybe there's a tight spot, or maybe there's something that you guys need to get out of in the month of June, potentially, all right? And maybe this is your guy to have, maybe it's a lawyer. Other than that, on the flip side, and it's funny because, you know, the reversals are meant to be the absolute kind of opposite to what the card is upright, but I don't necessarily believe that within the tarot, because I believe that you can have, you know, opposites when they're upright at the same time, because the King of Swords can also be seen as somebody who can be quite aloof. He can be quite somebody who is so logical to the point that they kind of disregard any type of emotion, or they're not in tune with their emotions. Everything is based on what they see, what they hear. You know, nothing is based on really what they feel. Their feelings, well, everybody's got feelings, but the King of Swords' feelings would be derived from what he is seeing, what he's hearing, and what he knows. And that's what he acts on. He acts on bare facts. He's a scientist. If you were to look at any of the cards, you'd see the King of Swords as the scientist in the pack. The King of Cups allows himself to feel. Okay, so he gets to a point of how he feels, emotional security, and he acts and he makes decisions from that basis. You know, the King of Wands is about ambition, maturity. Well, I don't know about maturity. Sometimes I've seen them to be right players, but, you know, ambition, motivation, that fire that you feel in your belly when you really want to get something going. So he acts on that. He knows that the kings get to a point where they are so self-assured on something. That's the direction that they take. So the kings are really about being confident in something here and being so sure of a situation that you have no other way but to act on it. Okay, so you get a King of Pentacles, for example. It might be that you're a King of Pentacles on Thursday. You might need a new product, and you might be so certain that you need this product, you need to buy something, hence the Pentacle. You might get a Page of Pentacles, and that might be that you're looking at options. I've got the money here, so I'm going to buy. Sometimes these cards are just very, very small things, but the King of Swords says that he's in his right mind when he does something, as far as I'm concerned with this card. Because the swords represent not only logic and thoughts and ideas, they represent the actions that one takes as a result of those things. As a result of reaching a definitive decision, you then go and act on it, because it's a king. The king are the action takers. They are the fighters, they are the warriors. They will move forward, okay, without any type of question. So for some of you guys, you might be relying on someone to help you, I feel, out of some form of a tight spot here. That's what I'm feeling. Because it's just weird how we have a juxtaposition of two cards here. One suggests one thing, one suggests the other. And I feel that this King of Swords kind of glues these two cards at the top together, because he's the one that's able to make the fair and balanced decision. There is very much difference with the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands tends to be much more of a free, open, expansive card, and the Ten of Swords seems to be a more victimised, set in stone, cannot move type of card. So there's a different juxtaposition for me with those two cards between movement and flight. It's like fight or flight, or the fight or the flight, or the fight, flight or fall syndrome, as they call it. And one card is falling and one card is flying. So I don't know whether there's a difference between an idea that you have at the moment, Taurus, in your life that is keeping you in one place, and a belief system that you have. So it's almost like there's a polarity, there's a difference, or there's a division between what you believe in terms of your passions, what your driving fire inside of you believes, as opposed to maybe other people's ideas, or, you know, maybe there's some struggle against this to do something here. But I feel that the King of Swords is saying, you know, it's either somebody that you're going to need to rely on in the month of June to make a decision maybe, or help you make a decision, or you know, it's you guys coming to a definitive decision that you really need, you really know that you need to act on. Let's have a look at the first two cards. Well, we've got the Three of Pentacles here showing up. And we've also got the Seven of Swords. So, to me, the Seven of Swords, you know, usually people would say that this card was maybe about some form of a deception because it is somebody who's stealing something, okay? But also this card can be the card of finding solutions. So working out a really good strategy, and it would kind of make sense with the King of Swords because he is a strategist, all right? He is based in logic, he's based in thought, and he works from his mind rather than his heart, okay? He does have head and heart decisions to make, but he'll always go with what he feels logically makes more sense rather than going with what he feels would make more sense. It's more to do with, you know, rather than going what his emotions tell him to do, he'll always go what he feels logically makes sense. So, for example, it could be a case of that he likes someone. You could get a King of Swords who felt a great deal about a woman, but because all his friends don't like the woman, he'll go with his friends and say, actually, my friends don't like her, nobody likes her, so therefore I'm not going to go for her, because the facts are stacked against her. The evidence, which is why he makes a great lawyer in a way, because if the evidence is stacked against a certain thing, the King of Swords will then kind of refute it and say, well, the odds are stacked against this, or the evidence is too overwhelming to go in a particular direction, so I'm going to go in another direction because that makes more sense to me. The fact that this woman that I like, everybody doesn't like her, I feel I'll go with my friends because nobody likes her. I won't go with what I truly feel deep down inside about this person. I'll go with my logical brain because it makes sense that if everybody doesn't like her, she can't be that great anyway. Do you understand? So it would make sense with the Seven of Swords that you are strategizing and trying to perhaps find a solution to maybe, I'm not going to say it's a problem, but you're trying to find some form of a solution here. And I feel that this is why we have the kind of polarity of this Eight of Wands, this sort of flight-free card, lots of ideas flying through the air, but then maybe with the Ten of Swords, it's a case of that you might be feeling slightly in a place where you're having an ability to kind of move ahead with those things, because the Ten of Swords says that, you know, you might be feeling an overwhelming amount of pressure, and it might be that there are so many ideas going on, things might be such up in the air, that with the Ten of Swords, it could be that you mentally feel overwhelmed by the amount of things that might be going on around you, Taurus, or that you have the inability to kind of move on something, because maybe other people are saying you can't move on something, potentially. All right, so the King of Swords says, you know, you need to make a definitive decision for yourself, but, you know, which way do you go in? You know, the King of Swords is a difficult card in a way, because everybody's got a heart and everybody's got feelings. So, you know, you could see with the King of Wands how his feelings would mix in with his ambition. Because when you're ambitious and you have a really strong feeling about something, which is why the Wands are very much rooted in our self-belief, or in beliefs that we have, this fiery, passionate extremes of beliefs that we all have as individuals to move forward with something. You could see why the King of Wands would be heavily affiliated maybe with the Cups and emotions, okay? Because you can't have the fire and the ambition and the motivation and the drive to do something if you don't have an emotion that affiliates itself with it. But then again, we could say the same about the Swords. But the Swords are different in a way. The King of Swords for me is different because, you know, out of all of the kings, he will go with this. So here, what he's feeling in his belly, King of Swords and King of Pentacles are kind of similar in that way, because the King of Pentacles can also be somebody who looks at what he has rather than what he feels he should have. So he'll be the type of guy, because he's Pentacles, he's materialistic. And because the King of Pentacles can often be affiliated with the Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, usually Capricorn, I believe. He can be somebody who's often tied to how the world sees him and the external value of who he is, whereas the Wands and the Cups are more to do with the emotion, but the Cups are a softer type of thing, and the Wands are more fiery. Okay, so with the King of Swords, even though he definitely has a heart, there's no doubt about it, he's more going to go with how the evidence goes. So, you know, it's 50-50 at first, and then he'll look at how things are stacked up and then he'll say, okay, no, I'm going to actually go with this because that's the way it looks to me, if that makes any sense. So you are strategizing here. And we've got the Three of Pentacles showing before that Seven of Swords card. And the Three of Pentacles is where things are in development, okay? It can be that you're being watched. So maybe for some of you guys, there might be some sneaky behaviour going on here, because the Three of Pentacles can be where you're watching someone, and the Seven of Swords can be where you're being sneaky. So there might be something sneaky going on here, hence this Ten of Swords card in the general energy. But it might be your ideas, because sometimes when you get the Eight of Wands, you've got so many ideas going on that they can be literally so overwhelming, and that could be the Ten of Swords. It could literally be where you need to be kind of a little bit more rational in your thought processes potentially, Taurus, for the month of June, because the King of Swords is not only logical, logic falls very much in place with being quite rational about stuff. So when you're rational about a situation, you're kind of in your right mind, you're level-headed about it. When you're irrational about something, it's like having an irrational fear of something. You might be having an irrational fearing of a bug, or fear of a bug or something like that, and it might be that you just don't like the look of the bug, but the bug, rationally, the bug can't hurt you, but irrationally, it just looks disgusting. So the King of Swords is always very rational about how he views the world, how he views people, and how he, you know, acts and what decisions he derives from that rationality. And here, it could be that for some of you guys, maybe you have a feeling that you're being watched in the month of June, if that makes any sense to you. Only because I'm working on keywords at the minute. Three of Pentacles, being watched. Seven of Swords, deception. Or somebody who's, you know, sneaking around, because it's often the card of sneaking around. So for some of you guys, you might be having a lot of ideas around this, and it might be overwhelming you in terms of the Ten of Swords. And maybe the King of Swords is saying, well, you need to take a more rational viewpoint. Why would somebody do this? Or do you have any evidence? Because that's what the King of Swords was saying. Do you have any evidence for this? What is the evidence that shows that somebody's actually doing this? For some of you guys, as I've said, it could be strategizing, because the Three of Pentacles is not only a card about being watched, but it's also a card about building things and developing things. And also it's a card about, you look at the Three of Pentacles, and sometimes for a couple, you get Three of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. It could be that a couple are buying a home, for example, or you're looking at purchasing a home, and these two people here are actually seeing the more skilled workman. And the skilled workman on this card is always, he's not actually a workman. He can be a workman, but he's somebody who knows more about the subject than you do. So when you get this, it could be that you're showing your CV or your resume to an employment agent. It could be that you are showing plans to an architect who's working on your home. It could be that you're going to the bank, because it is Pentacles, money, and you're showing a business plan, or you're needing to show your accounts to the bank manager. Okay? But I feel, because we've got a Seven of Swords here, this is something about strategizing on how to kind of do something here, because something looks like it's in development here, and we've got the Seven of Swords here, which is a card about working out a strategy on something. So I feel that you might be working out a strategy on how to do something in the month of June 2016, Taurus. And those Eight Wands might be loads of ideas that are coming to you, and it might be a sense that you're feeling kind of mentally burdened by them, because you don't really know what direction to go in order to do this thing or manifest it or develop it further, which hence we would have the King of Swords trying to make a balanced, rational decision on something and go with that. The other two cards are the Two of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Now, your Two of Swords is a card about where you are living in denial. It's a card about blocking things out, blocking out how you truly feel about something. And I feel it's almost like there's a sense of duty with you here in the month of June, Taurus, because the Six of Pentacles can be a card about having to do something. You might not, don't be fooled by these tarot cards. Just because it's the Six of Pentacles, I mean, it could be a selfless act as well, because you might be blocking out how you truly feel about something, but still be managing to give to others, or still be managing to uphold your responsibilities. All right, and maybe for some of you guys, the Eight of Wands means many things. When you get cards with lots of objects on them, especially if they're kind of, if the objects are kind of on their own, or the objects are on a person, but that person is kind of stationary, it can mean lots of ideas or lots of different things. And it's interesting, because the Two of Swords can also mean that you have a decision to make, that you're kind of stuck in stasis. You can't make a decision either way, which is why we have two swords sticking up in different directions. It can mean, do I go in this direction or do I go in that direction? And we can see this as well with the Six of Pentacles, because this can also mean a decision card as well. Because it can mean that you have so many things to do, or so many people to give to, or so many, you're just responsible for so much stuff that, you're having to kind of please everybody but yourself. And maybe with this King of Swords, it says that you need to be a little bit more colder in the month of June, and you need to kind of be a little bit more selfish, if that makes sense. You've got to know how to twist and turn tarot cards around, because they're not as simple as they look. They're really not. They can literally mean so many different things. It's unbelievable. The King of Swords can be seen as a selfish character, because he's unwilling to yield to emotion. He's unwilling to yield. But I've known lots of King of Swords. An ex-boyfriend of mine was a King of Swords. I've got a brother-in-law that's a King of Swords. And both of them were very difficult people. Sorry, brother-in-law, but it's the truth. Because, I've got a brother-in-law that's a Gemini, and he's your quintessential King of Swords. Okay? He doesn't believe in God, which is fair enough. You don't have to believe in God. You can believe in what the hell you like. He's a notorious atheist. And, you try explaining stuff to him or saying anything to him, and it's always he refutes it. No. This is proven fact. How can you have God when you can't see him, you can't this, you can't that? We've always had some very in-depth conversations, because I'm a committed Christian. Not committed Christian, I don't really go to church, but I really heavily believe in God, angels, that, there are other things other than ourselves. So the King of Swords can be a very difficult person to break about anything. Once he believes in something, he believes in it, and that's that. And sometimes I feel that, if something's overwhelming you in the month of June, Taurus, then really the King of Swords is saying that, well, maybe you need to be a little bit selfish about this. Maybe you need to draw the lines here, okay? Because just because the King of Swords is rooted in fairness and balance, he doesn't have to be kind. These cards, a lot of people say, well, King of Swords, he's a nice guy, he's really fair and he's really honest. Well, no, he's not. He's not. He can be honest about how he feels, because he's quite an orator. He's not afraid to verbalise. Every King of Swords I've met is not afraid to be verbal about how they think or feel. They're quite upfront individuals, to be honest with you, whenever I've seen a King of Swords character. But this King of Swords, yes, you can be a King of Swords and you can be selfish, but there's nothing wrong with being selfish if it's going to kind of serve a higher purpose for yourself. There's nothing bad about it at all. So King of Swords doesn't have to be fair. King of Swords really means, for me, being fair to who you are and being true to who you are. It might not seem that you're being true to others, or others might not view your behaviour. Like, for example, I don't view my brother-in-law as a particularly emotional person, but that's his thing. And yes, I don't really like it, but it's not for me to say. It's his truth, and it's what he's comfortable with, and it's my problem if I don't like it, if that makes sense to you. So I feel in the month of June, this King of Swords is saying, maybe for some of you guys, you do need to feel selfish. You do need to be selfish, because maybe this Three of Pentacles is where, there's just too much. There's people. Threes are always represent more than one person in a situation, okay? And maybe the Seven of Swords means as well that, you need to kind of steal some time away, potentially, if that makes any sense to you. Because I do believe with this Two of Swords, you are kind of conflicted over something, but you're suppressing it and you don't feel that you can open up. The Six of Pentacles could mean that you share a problem, potentially, only because of the key word sharing. But I feel that these are responsibilities that you have, and you are having to kind of suppress what you truly want in the month of June, Taurus, okay? Hence the King of Swords, you need to be selfish. You need to draw those lines, and you need to kind of make balanced, fair, rational decisions based on how you're actually feeling. So for me now, it's mixing your emotion with your logic. What does your head say? If we don't mix the emotion with the logic, that's fine as well, because maybe your emotion leads you to keep suppressing how you truly feel. Maybe your emotion is linked in with many other people and what other people want from you, Taurus, in the month of June. Therefore, you truly exclude what you really want, because what you really want doesn't really come into it. Therefore, we have the Two of Swords. Self-denial, putting your head in the sand. And it's interesting because we do have the Moon card here as well. The moon card can mean that you are feeling fairly anxious around something. I don't really like having the moon and the Seven of Swords in a reading together, to be honest with you, because it is suggestive of some skullduggery, because the moon can represent something that's not yet clarified, something that's secret. It might look one way by the light of the moon, but by another light, in the daylight, it's quite apparent, which is why in the darkness, things can be hidden. And the Seven of Swords represents deception. There could be something around secret meetings here going on, potentially. And maybe with the King of Swords, you've got to the heart of the matter, okay? You finally assessed and evaluated it, and the evidence is stacked against someone. They're bound to rights, potentially. So maybe something is unearthed here. We do have the Queen of Pentacles. It could be an individual. This would usually be you, though, Taurus, because Queen of Pentacles is Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, individual. All right? So for some of you guys, it might not be that it's such a, an underhanded thing. It's just that when I get the Ten of Swords in a reading, the Seven of Swords and the Moon, it doesn't bode well with me. I don't really like those cards too much. I know what it feels to be the Moon card. The Moon card can be one of real anxiety. You're crying out for an answer with the Moon card a lot of the time. This is why, and it also deals with female hormones. Because females menstruate every 28 days. It's the cycles of the moon. I don't know much about astrology and stuff, but it's to do with that type of thing. Okay, so for some of you guys, you might be having female problems as well, potentially. We do have a queen sitting here. Okay, she is looking at a pentacle and she's being quite detailed. When I look at the Queen of Pentacles, I often think about one who's looking at one's own self-worth, or looking at what one is worth, or looking at what one has, and looking at how they can kind of expand on what it is that they have, what they're carrying, their money, their home, their children, their husband, this, that, and the other. I do feel that you've got a lot of responsibilities for some reason in the month of June, Taurus. Okay, I feel that there is something to do with meetings. Okay. There might be something to do with money here for some of you guys. It might be a sense of overwhelmment. It might be that some of you guys have got to a point where you're like, well, what are we going to do? We're looking to move, or we really want to move, or, there's something to do with purchasing of something here. And I do believe that there is trying to search or trying to find a solution to a very kind of tricky problem going on here. I also believe that there's something to do with female menstruation, even though we don't have an Empress next to this moon, which I would feel intuitively would be more in line with that. We do have the Queen of Pentacles, who can also be an Empress as well, because she's also to do with motherhood and nurturing, but she's also very much a career woman as well. So I feel that there is something to do with money, the home, potentially, buildings. There could be some skullduggery going on, hence that Ten of Swords. Maybe there are messages that you have heard and it's kind of revealed some sort of betrayal, because the Three of Pentacles can be a card about people talking, all right? And the Seven of Swords can be about underhanded behaviour, and the Moon card can be about things being in secret. So potentially there's something that you are trying to find out, hence the King of Swords. King of Swords can be a lawyer. He's a natural researcher, okay? He will go to the ends of the earth to find out the truth, to expose it. Hence why he's a good lawyer. He looks for the evidence. So for some of you guys, you might be looking for evidence. Maybe, Taurus, you are the ones who are looking for this, to unearth something here. All right, maybe you're trying to block out things that you are seeing here with that Two of Swords. And it's interesting, guys, as well. This is really interesting. That Two of Swords could also be that you're blocking out something to do with your finances in the month of June as well. I'm getting the impression, okay? Maybe you're blocking out the fact that you owe money, or that you've got to pay money out potentially, okay? Because we have a Nine of Pentacles here, a lady, and this is you again. This is Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. And we've also got the Hermit. He's walking towards you for some reason. He's asking questions from you. So I'm just wondering, this looks like a really shady reading, to be honest with you. It might not be that shady. You might be like, well, no, nothing like that for me in June. But it's almost like somebody's trying to find something out from you in the month of June. Okay, only because the Hermit can also be a lawyer. And he's also somebody who's trying to uncover a truth. And I feel that he's walking to your door and asking you a question about something. But it could be that you're refusing to give anything away, because we have this Two of Swords person right above the head of the knight, the lady on the Nine of Pentacles. For some of you guys, you could be searching for ways to build your abundance potentially, because the Hermit is about searching, trying to seek some clarity. And the Nine of Pentacles is about building your own confidence, building your own independence, being financially independent. So some of you guys might be trying to find ways to do that. Okay? Maybe there's an issue with the amount of money that you owe, and you're trying to find ways to kind of solve a financial issue. I only say that because of the number of pentacle cards we have. When you have a lot of pentacle cards, it can be that things are actually starting to take form within a tarot reading, or it can literally be that there's something that's very financially based within a reading. And we do have 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 pentacle cards showing here. I feel that some of you guys might, I don't know whether any of you guys are having problems feeding children, or feeding someone, or helping someone within the family perhaps. Whether any of you guys are actually trying to get a bank loan, or trying to get a loan of money, potentially. And I'm wondering if any of you guys, I'm just getting the sense, Taurus, I know it sounds like a bit of a shitty reading, but I just get the sense that some of you guys are split between a decision that you need to make, whether you do something to get the money, or whether you go down a more traditional route, if that makes sense. And I don't know why. Because this Two of Swords lady is stuck, and I'll show you what I mean. She's stuck between the Seven of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So I don't know whether you're stuck between a decision on whether to go around a route to get something in a more difficult way, or do it the more traditional way. It's because when I see the Two of Swords and it's stuck between 2 different cards, it's almost like you have a decision that you can either go the Seven of Swords way, which is, I'm not saying you're doing anything underhanded, Taurus, but you know, do something that is a little bit different or out of the box, or whether you should do something in the traditional way with the Six of Pentacles. But I'm pretty certain that you've got some sort of decision to make here, because the Two of Swords is stuck between the Seven of Swords and also that Six of Pentacles. When you get the Two of Swords, sometimes again that can mean that a couple of ideas are stuck up in the air, and you're kind of really anxious, and the water behind this person sometimes means their own anxiety, and they're trying to kind of control it quite a bit. Okay, so they're trying to think quite logically about something and quite rationally, but they're not really coming to a decision on it. And it seems that one sword points in the direction of the Seven of Swords. So you're looking at a different strategy to something. Or do you look to the more traditional way of doing something? Because the Pentacles can be about traditions as well, as far as I'm concerned, because they're earth-based. So they're things that are already tried and tested. Whereas the Seven of Swords would be something that hasn't been tried out. Okay, it's taking a risk. So I don't know whether you guys are looking to take a risk around a situation, or whether to stay with the tried and tested method. And that's why I feel that you're overwhelmed in the month of June with that Eight of Wands and the Ten of Swords. I feel something has really kind of got you beat. Do you know what I mean? Got you beat down, sort of thing. And I feel that the King of Swords really says, you know what? You've just got to be rational about it. What is the most rational way of doing something? And then you need to take action with it, because the King of Swords is the action taker. We're going to get some clarification cards now with this reading, Taurus. We'll have a look at the 2 top cards first. Remember, when I do the clarification cards, they should give me a reason for why we're seeing the 2 cards that have already taken place. And sometimes this can change the tone of a reading up. Oh, that Seven of Swords just fell out again. And that was over the Eight of Wands and the Seven of Swords. So the reason for those 2 cards is something, I believe, of trying to find some form of a strategy. It can be that maybe there's a deceptive individual. It could be an air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, because we do have a lot of swords in this reading as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's kind of even Stevens so far. We've got 4 pentacles, 4 swords. The pentacles speak about struggles, thoughts, but also the actions that we want to take. You get a lot of swords though, and sometimes it means that things are just like a little bit of hot air. Things stay up in the realm of ideas. But then we do have pentacles, which means that your ideas are now starting to take form. So things are actually starting to take form. I feel whatever this is, you're pretty serious about it. All right? I feel that you're pretty serious about it, okay? That you're really kind of locked onto something here. But it would seem that the reason for those 2 cards is the 7 of Swords. You're either strategizing about something here. You're trying to find a strategy, which would mean that you've got a lot of ideas up in the air, but maybe you simply just haven't found the solution because you're kind of so weighed down by all of these choices or ideas that you've got. It could mean that there's a deceptive person here. It could mean that there's a lot of gossip. I've seen the 8 of Wands to be lots and lots of gossip going on. Okay? Lots of different, lots of busyness. It could be lots of emails being sent around something. It's a very, very busy card. It seems to be the reason it is 7 of Swords. It could be some form of a deceptive person, some form of a liar, or somebody who's deceiving, or somebody, you know, it just seems that there's a lot of gossip, and maybe it's bringing you guys down, maybe around one person here. Oops. Well, there we go. 2 of Pentacles. The reason is you're weighing something up here. I do feel that you're trying to find a strategy, okay? Now, it could also be, with the 2 of Pentacles, sometimes somebody's weighing 2 things up. It could be 2 relationships, hence this 7 of Swords, deception, secret meetings. So it could be somebody who's weighing up or juggling 2 things at the same time. So maybe they're making plans with one person and they're being deceptive and messing around with somebody else. So it could be a relationship where somebody's weighing up 2 things or messing around, or, you know, juggling 2 relationships, which is the basis for this 3 of Pentacles. Being in a relationship, developing something in a relationship, but yet being deceptive with the 7 of Swords. Additionally, it could be that you're literally trying to weigh money up. You're trying to make something work. Hence, we're looking at the 3 of Pentacles. Something is in development. It's in the initial stages. And the 7 of Swords trying to find a strategy of how to make it work, how to develop it even further. Oh my God, we've had the 2 of Swords come up over that 2 of Swords and 6 of Pentacles. Same card. I feel that you're really conflicted about something here, Taurus. And you're still conflicted. Alright? You are, I feel, stuck between 2 ways of doing things. And it seems that the stickiness of a situation is quite deep. Because if your reason is the 2 of Swords for those cards, if your reason, if the foundation, if the problem is that you are conflicted, then it means that you're even further conflicted, because maybe you just don't know who to give to or what to give to here with that 6 of Pentacles. We've got 2 cards that show the same, the reason for the situation and the outcome of what you're doing about it in the month of June, which means that there is no progress. And this isn't really a progressive card either, if you get it in certain readings, because it means that somebody has many people, or they've got a couple of people to give to, and one minute they're giving to Sammy and one minute they're giving to Lammy, but they're never streamlining or giving one person everything. So I do feel that you're in a sticky situation here. It might be that you decide to give to someone. It might be that there's a sacrifice that you have to make in the month of June, if this is making any sense to you, this reading. But for some of you guys, you're definitely stuck between something, between 2 things. And we've got the Five of Pentacles, so there is something to do with financial poverty, I feel, for some of you guys in the month of June. I do feel that this is probably very financially based, this reading, because the reason for the moon, the sadness, the anxiety, and looking at your finances with that Queen of Pentacles is because of some sort of financial loss, some sort of financial poverty, some sort of lack is going on with you. Now, because this is a pentacle card and it's shown with another pentacle, I'm inclined to think that this is something to do with money. We have an awful lot of pentacles in this reading. So I feel that the problem for you guys, or the issue for some of you guys in the month of June, is something to do with finances. For some of you, it could be a relationship reading, okay? So maybe with the Queen of Pentacles, sometimes you can see her as a woman who is just focused on her career. Okay, and it could be that she's feeling really down about something here, and this is you guys. It could be the ending of a relationship, or maybe there's been some blockages within your relationship, Taurus. Five of Pentacles means lack, okay? So it can mean spiritual, emotional lack. It can mean that you've been cut off from someone. You haven't seen them in an awfully long time. You haven't spoken to them. And it can literally mean, well, this can't grow, because snow doesn't allow anything to grow. It freezes everything. There isn't any warm weather when you get the snow. When you get the snow, it's cold, it's ice, it kills everything. So it can literally be where there's been some lack in a relationship. Maybe this is you guys who are feeling really anxious over it, and you're looking at, you know, what you have at the moment. It could be where there's a money issue going on at the moment with you guys as well. And the Two of Cups is the reason for the Nine of Pentacles lady and the Hermit. You know, with that Two of Cups being the reason, it could be for some of you single Taurus people that you need to make a decision on a relationship. Because at the basis of this Nine of Pentacles lady and the Hermit is a relationship, the Two of Cups. It could be a negotiation that you need to come to with someone, if it's a financial thing. But the Two of Cups is usually emotional and romantic love. So I feel that there's been a relationship here, but I feel that for some of you guys, you might have spent some time apart from someone, okay? And it could be that if it's a Virgo individual, they're returning to you, because this Hermit is someone who has been on a journey, but it's a self-imposed isolation journey, because this person needs to take time out, they need their own space to think about a situation. So I feel here for some of you guys, you might have been on your own, you might have taken some space from a relationship, out of a relationship, Taurus. And I feel that the reason is Two of Cups, a relationship, love. But we see, if you look at these cards together, your clarification card, the reason for this Nine of Pentacles, which would be you guys, and the Hermit, which could be a Virgo individual. Can you see those cards? Can you see also how the Hermit faces the lady on the Nine of Pentacles? So he's looking directly at her. But it's almost like he comes back with his tail between his legs, because he can't quite look her in the eye. He can't look anybody in the eye. But he's also got a staff and he's beating it against his head. He's searching for an answer. So I do feel that this is based in a relationship for some of you guys. But I feel that you're apart at the minute, or that there's been some distance here. Let's have a look at the reading again very quickly from the top, Taurus. We've got, let me just take my earring out because it's really irritating me. Ow. Oh dear, jeez. I don't know if you guys ever wear earrings, but sometimes they can be really hot, really itchy, and they do my head in. So we've got the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Swords, and the reason for this is the Seven of Swords, okay? So this could be a deception that maybe some of you guys have found out about. There's probably lots of ideas, lots of chatter about it, because when you get the Eight of Wands, it can sometimes be lots of chatter, lots of emails, lots of things going around, lots of busy activity around this situation. And maybe this is overwhelming you with the Ten of Swords. It could also be, because you have a Seven of Swords and a Ten of Swords, this can be deception and breaking of the heart and betrayal. So potentially for some of you guys, it could be a relationship that's been quite a bit of a betrayal, and maybe it's just very overwhelming for you in the month of June. Also though, on the other side, It could be the Seven of Swords being the reason that you are strategizing, trying to find solutions. The Eight of Wands suggests you have a lot of ideas that are going around, maybe there's a lot of communication going on around here, but it's all too much, because the Ten of Swords says that maybe you just feel really kind of overwhelmed by everybody's thoughts, by your own thoughts, by maybe many people being involved in a situation. But it does suggest that you are trying to strategize for some of you guys over a situation. We next have the Two of Pentacles showing us the reason for the Three of Pentacles and that Seven of Swords. To me, this is trying to weigh up options. When you get the Two of Pentacles, it means that you're up and down about something, okay? It means that you are trying to weigh things up. And I feel that, this being the reason, you're looking at ways of trying to kind of develop something here. It could be for some of you guys, you are looking to purchase a new home, but maybe you don't have enough money. Maybe your credit score is not that great. Maybe you are having to go to an external third-party money lender in order to get the money. But the Seven of Swords would suggest that you're trying to find ways outside of the traditional way of doing things, i.e. just going to your bank manager to raise the funds. So some of you guys might be trying to raise funds for something here. Alternatively, it could be a relationship whereby somebody is juggling two relationships, because we have the Three of Pentacles, which can show as a couple who are together, they're solid, they're making plans for the future. But the Seven of Swords can be a card where there is some form of deception around this, okay? Somebody's being a barefaced liar on something. So alternatively, it could be that for some of you guys in the month of June, either you or... And I feel that, this is Pentacles, so maybe this is you guys who are weighing something up here. Maybe you know about this and you're trying to weigh things up. You're trying to kind of be really level-headed about it. We have the Two of Swords as being the reason for the Two of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So when you get Two of Swords, it's stasis. It's literally trying to figure out what direction you're going, because one sword points that way, one sword points the other. So it means that there are still ideas that are up in the air about something, and you're still trying to fervently figure out how you go about something, because really you know the truth of which direction you want to take. That's the Water. You're intuitive, but you're blocking out, you won't listen to your intuition. You still feel that you need to go in one direction or the other, when really you could just stay in the one direction if you trusted it enough. But with the blindfold on, it suggests that there is a lack of trust with something, which then turns to kind of denying something to yourself. The Six of Pentacles could mean that, you go along a traditional route, or maybe you have just many things that you need to give to, and you need to work out what you give to and what you discard, because the Six of Pentacles to me can sometimes mean a card of sacrifice. It means one day you show favouritism to one thing, and the next day you show favouritism to the other, so you're trying to please everybody here. And I feel that you know exactly what direction you need to go in, but I feel that something around you, Taurus, is conflicting you. And I feel that it's something, it could be that, you're worried about bills, money, what you need to give to, and what you can't give to in the month, that type of thing. Because we have an ideas card here, two ideas cards, one is your reason, one as the outcome for the month. And then we've got something that you're literally doing, and this is you guys. You're giving something to someone, but not giving to the other. So I feel that it's almost like you're conflicting on what you give to and what you don't, if that makes any sense to you. We also have, as the reason for the Moon card and the Queen of Pentacles, well, the Five of Pentacles, for some of you guys, it's definitely, I feel, going to be financial lack. Maybe there's real anxiety around this as you try and sort through your finances with the Queen of Pentacles. For some of you guys, it might be a relationship whereby there has been some distance. Five of Pentacles can mean being shut out, so therefore it means a lack of communication and no distance. It might mean that a relationship didn't really have any type of kind of spiritual or emotional foundation. Maybe some of you guys have recently split from someone. So I definitely feel that some of you guys might be feeling a bit down about that in the month of June. And finally, we have as the basis for the Nine of Pentacles, and this is you guys on your own here, and I believe that you are that Queen of Pentacles there. And the Two of Cups. If this is a relationship here, it might be, if it's finances, and you've been having problems with finances and trying to work out a strategy, that finally the Hermit, who is walking towards you, and this being the basis, might have some news for you. It might be where you finally get the solution to a financial problem that might have been affecting you. Because the Hermit can be a lawyer, or he can be a truth seeker, or he can be someone who, he can be a spy. He's always a truth seeker. Okay? He's always someone who's trying to find a solution. So the fact that he's looking at you, he's facing you, suggests that he's walking to you with a solution. And the basis is the Two of Cups. If this is a negotiation, maybe on finances, then it might be that you come up with a solution from someone. The Hermit I would always see like a third-party financial person if that's what he did. And he is based in Pentacles because he's Virgo. If this is a relationship, then I feel that, and you've been apart, then I feel that your lover comes back. Because the Hermit is walking towards you. You're the lady on the Nine of Pentacles, Taurus. So I feel that your lover comes back. Alright? But all along the way, the advice is the King of Swords. Now that Hermit and the Nine of Pentacles lady, just because I've said I feel that your lover comes back, he might come back with his tail between, he or she might come back with their tail between their legs. But the King of Swords as an advice card would say, you know what? There's no time for emotion. If somebody's cheated on you, for example, and they come back with their tail between their legs, and you've spent time apart, then what would the King of Swords do? Because the evidence is weighed against the person. So he'd use his head. He'd be like, you know what, you cheated on me, move. He wouldn't use his emotions because he'd look at the evidence of the relationship. So I feel that in the month, and this is just an example, I feel that in the month, really what this is saying, Taurus, is use your head above your heart on situations, okay? So if something's got you in a real bind, because, you're wondering whether you should go with a traditional route of doing something or whether you should go with a route that's going to get you somewhere faster, then there's no time to play the martyr. You just need to go with what's right. And also you need to look at the evidence, I feel, of something. This is where I feel that the King of Swords can be an excellent card. Could be somebody who's around you in the month of June, but as an energy card, I feel that this is saying, do the right thing. Do whatever is fair and just to you. Okay, now you might have a cheating lover here, but what is fair and just to you? Is it fair and just for you to take back a cheating lover because you say, oh well, I love them, despite the fact that they might have cheated on you time and time again? Is it fair to do that to yourself? Or is it fair to be more logical and say, and look at things in the rational way, and look at all the evidence is there for you, Taurus, that says, you know what, actually you cheated, you lied, you this, you that, so really, actually, even though my heart might want you back, my head says, I actually do need to move on. And that's where the King of Swords can be an absolutely wonderful card, because he's able to rationalise. And sometimes when we go with things because of our heart, it leads us into hot water, because we're not thinking clearly. The King of Swords is the card of thinking clearly, and I feel that the advice for the month, guys, is think clearly about the situations. Because if you don't think clearly, the consequences might not be that great. So whatever this situation is, think clearly and make your decision from a clear point of view. That is your reading, Taurus, for the month of June. I would like to say thank you very, very much for joining me on Carol's Universe, and I will speak with you guys real soon. Take care.